I already have 7 questions here. Mataji, they say finding a guru is important for sadhana. How do I go about it? Finding a guru is absolutely important for sadhana, especially when it comes to Vedanta. The guru is almost the all in all, because the Vedantic type may not even have so much of belief in a personal God. But when you find the expression of divinity in a human being, that is the greatest blessing of your life, actually speaking. Shankaracharya has put it beautifully in his own words, that this is the point of transformation in a person's life. To find a person where I see what I am seeking for. Because the path of sadhana is very, very difficult, and it can have it depends a lot on the quality of the aspirant. So when you have a guide, it's a huge help. So please find a guru. And how do I go about it? If you deeply yearn for a guide, a help, the help will come to you. This is the law of spiritual life. What you yearn for, it comes to you. Pray for it and it will come to you. And how do I know he is my guru? He will inspire you from within tremendously. And Vivekananda used to say, he will know everything about you, your past, present and future. You are in touch with that soul since long. It will appear like that. So this is how you find your guru. Yearn for it intensely and it will happen. The second question is, Mataji, is it important to get Diksha, or can one do sadhana without Diksha? Diksha is initiating yourself into the spiritual life, isn't it? So it is important. In fact, Diksha is so very important because you get energized by it. Your energy level will increase. The guru's energy goes into the disciple. So I always recommend Diksha, some form of initiation into the spiritual life. There are different forms, okay? Sri Ramakrishna would give Diksha just by a touch or a glance. But Diksha is also given through a mantra. Now, you must go in for Diksha from a very authentic source, because that will change the very pattern of your life, your energies and your mind. So these are all great aids to spiritual life. What should I do if others in my family are not supportive of serious sadhana? See, when the turning point comes in your life, it's not necessary that it has come into other lives too, isn't it? So you must create the sadhana kavach around yourself. Put yourself into a position where you can periodically isolate yourself from the common ideas, common talk that goes on in your home. You can keep a room for sadhana. You can convert your own room into a place for meditation. There you will deliberately do some form of, you see, the purpose of ritual and all this is to condition our minds in particular ways. So every day there, maybe you light some incense, you do something which will trigger your spiritual feeling. You practice your meditation there. Anya vacho vibunchata, you simply sort of exclude yourself from all other kinds of talks. This is so very important, otherwise people will carry you away here and there with a whole lot of things, because there may be so many in your home who are themselves interested in many things which you have no interest in. So a little exclusion is okay in your home. And the kavach, creating a kavach actually means an armor of spiritual practice. The more you practice spiritual discipline, the kavach naturally gets created. It's an aura which you create around you, which protects you from harmful influences. Today you may get such influences in various ways. You don't actually have to go to some bad place to get them. You may get it in various ways actually. They are right in the air, I would say. So you must tune yourself to the highest naturally, and then this becomes a possibility. So don't go around quarreling or complaining or blaming others. It's of no use. Nor can you transform anybody just like that. But you can intensify your inner life and radiate an aura of positivity and peace so that others start respecting you, and naturally they will keep a distance from you. They won't trouble you. So that's how you proceed with your sadhana. What do you mean by vital energy? This is the thing. You can put on. So what exactly do you mean by vital energy? If you understand this, you understand almost 50% of your spiritual life. Vital energy means prana. Vital energy is otherwise called pranic energy, pran shakti. So how does it function in us? Just now we are talking of thoughts and emotions. These are all expressions of this pranic energy, vital energy in us. Can you feel it in your system? Yes, you can feel it in your system if you are very sensitive. The upsurge of energy, the flow of energy can be detected in your own system. If you are very quiet, if you quieten down the whole system, you can feel the flow of prana. In fact, you are supposed to feel it in meditation. Once you sense it, you will regulate it. Once you regulate it, you become very comfortable from within. You are happy by yourself. You are at ease within yourself. You are not restless. You are not looking here and there for distraction and enjoyment. You actually don't require anything to be happy within yourself. You understand this. Just regulating this vital energy will give you the experience of sukham, higher happiness. So detect it in your own system. If you are not able to detect it, at least mentally through your thought process, commit it to your heart center. What do I mean by this? See, if you have watched my talks, I have always insisted on this. What is the meaning of this? Through your thought, if you concentrate on the heart center, maybe you imagined a holy image there, maybe you thought of Om, maybe you chanted some mantra, imagining the heart center. You are, actually you are investing your entire prana at the heart. You are raising the level of your vital energy. Vital energy flows all over your system. It is responsible for your vital functions as well as your mental processes. But if you commit it at a particular place, you concentrate it there, your spiritual life begins. It begins with the heart center. So you can do it through the thought process. That is why in meditation we always tell you, when you have Diksha, you will understand this immediately. We always tell you, concentrate on the Ishtam or the mantra at the heart. Think of a lotus and think of the image of your Ishtam sitting on the lotus there in the heart center. Why do we say such things? So that the vital energy in your system is raised to the heart. As long as it does not reach the heart, you will remain in distracted states of mind because it is traversing the lower centers. But once it reaches the heart, it quietens down, it calms your entire system. In fact, this should be your default mode. This is how the life of sadhana begins. So it's very good you ask this question. A lot of spiritual life is the handling of vital energy from the standpoint of yoga. Vedanta starts from the standpoint, it starts with thinking analytically, but thought itself is one of the higher expressions of vital energy. Please understand this. So initially you stabilize the energy in your system. So we use yoga as a means. Meditation is the means to this enlightenment, higher knowledge. So get sensitive about your vital energy. Let me see if you can do it. A little yogic practice every day and you will become sensitive to the vital energy in your own system. The next is, I do Japa for 30 minutes and get tired. How can I prolong it? So you are getting tired because you are fighting with your mind. As you keep on practicing, the fight will stop. You are fighting with your vrittis, you are fighting with your sanskars, most probably. That's why you are tired. Otherwise, Japa should not tire you, ideally. It should enhance your vitality because you are taking the name of God. It should bring more energy into your system. It should bring more calmness in your mind and more good bhavs, more concentration and more awareness. See, these are the indices of higher happiness and spiritual growth. What are they? Higher vitality, higher awareness, deep calmness, perfect balance, harmony of your vital energy, and deep inner quietude. You don't require objects constantly to keep you engaged and happy. These are the indices of happiness. So check it out and see if this is happening. How can I prolong it, you have asked? Only when you get comfortable within yourself you can prolong a spiritual practice, isn't it? If it doesn't feel good, if you are struggling with it, how will you prolong it? So I first recommend that you stabilize yourself within yourself through these practices which I have recommended. In this particular video we have discussed sadhana. So go like that, step by step, and then you practice japa. It will be very fruitful. Then you can think of prolonging it. After that we have a question, how do I make a balance between spiritual life and family life? This is a tricky question, but after a certain time we understand that family life itself has to be geared up. It has to be sort of made into a means, or at least elevated, so that spirituality can unfold. Otherwise, by family life, if you are only meaning attachments or entanglements with a whole lot of people around you, because you have invested yourself in them, then it will depend on the wills of so many people, and they can be going in directions opposite to you, opposite to yours, to your will. So this can create a struggle. How to bring about a balance is, that is why start by bringing spiritual habits into your home. We always recommend this. In the homes of devotees, there must be some form of spiritual engagement which they do together every day, even if for 10 minutes. Like I know a number of devotees where as a family they do morning aarti together. They perform the aarti together, all of them stand together and do it. It's a 10-minute ritual, but it brings them into a sense of oneness in their own minds. Another thing which devotees commonly do is they read Kathamrit, Ramakrishna Kathamrit, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, for about 10 minutes before retiring at night. As a family, they sit together and do it. So you see, simple habits like these can make you of one mind. So you can harmonize the family life and spiritual life. If you can't do it, it becomes very difficult. That I can understand. So try to bring these habits into your homes. अगर आपको कोई कहे कि you are only peculiar, we don't have such habits, by the aura you radiate, you can gradually convince them that it is possible to lead a very sattvic life, a spiritual life at home. Perfectly possible. So you must gradually bring in these habits at home. Please try to do it and see. Good reading every day. A whole lot of our devotees do this. They sit and read with their children. 10-15 minutes you can do it, isn't it? Instead of only reading fairy tales to them, read something from the Ramayana, read something from Vivekananda's life, from the Bhagavad Gita every day, and you will see it works like magic. The younger the children, the better it is to do this. So please try in these ways to bring about a balance between spiritual life and family life. Without that, it's very difficult, I can understand. How much time I have to spend every day in meditation to gain some spiritual experience? That depends upon how you are. There are people who, without too much of meditative practice, have had spiritual experience. Some people require a lot of practice. It depends on what sanskars we carry and how our mental makeup is. So the whole point is to lead the spiritual life with full energy, with full understanding, and continue with your meditative practices. At some point, don't aim at spiritual experience, a flash of light, vision of God. You continue with the tools you have at hand, and at some point the inner awakening will occur. For the bhakta, it comes in the form of deep bhakti, love of God, the vision of God. For the jnani, it may come as deeper awareness, the inner light shining forth. Whatever it is, spiritual experiences vary widely according to the need and the mindset of spiritual aspirants. Whatever you are seeking, you will get, but there must be a process to it, a sadhana towards it. If you ignore sadhana and keep imagining spiritual experience, it will not come. So the essential foundation has to be laid and systematic sadhana has to be performed. Please invest into this. Pay attention towards this, and spiritual experience will happen by itself. You know, there are signs of real spiritual experience. What are the signs? First of all, Sri Ramakrishna himself says, you will become extremely blissful from within yourself. Nothing irritates you because the entire energy has risen to its summit. So you are the very embodiment of happiness and peace. You radiate it around you. Another sign of God vision is you have become extremely pure to the core of your being. You have no ulterior motives. You are a transparent crystal whom everybody can trust. So everybody is drawn towards you. You become magnetic, as it were, only because of the strength of spiritual experience and because spiritual experience, please remember, there is no substitute to it. It is the only thing that transforms you completely. So these are all the signs of a spiritual experience. If you have had it, you are a totally different person altogether. You become a sage or a saint. And the whole aim of sadhana, spiritual practice, is to get that, to reach that. So you please concentrate on sadhana. This is what I would say. Even after spiritual experience, for a long time, one has to be an enormous sadhak for a long time until you are established in samadhi or spiritual experience completely for days on end. When you can remain in those states, then Sri Ramakrishna gives another very beautiful pointer. He says, when the senses and the mind are completely purified, then that is the end of your sadhana. Not until then. Until then you go on. Maybe you had glimpses of few things, you had samadhi-like states, but don't stop there. That's not the end. Sri Ramakrishna's beautiful allegory of the woodcutter is there. A brahmachari tells a woodcutter, proceed further, don't stop at these woods. He goes forward and he finds a forest of sandalwood trees. Then he again remembers, the brahmachari said, go forward, proceed further. Then he goes further and he finds a copper mine. Then he still goes forward, he finds a silver mine, then a gold mine, then precious gems, and then that's the end. So as you proceed with your sadhana, you will find greater and greater things, inner revelations, great visions, complete fulfillment within yourself, high awareness. You will understand what unfoldment of awareness and consciousness means. So I think that is the fulfillment of your sadhana. So don't think too much of the spiritual goal. Think of the way and the tool, the method which you have taken up. Attain fulfillment in that and you will reach the culmination of it. So I think let's stop here. We have answered 7 questions.